Mitch Argent's won this 2 times, so he's got something to prove here. Mitch Argent making that thing shake. Mitch Argent's one more blow should do it, and there Mitch Argent is your Australian Trophy champion.
I was in the zone, I wasn't here to come second, here to win, and lucky enough I got the win.
But in 2022, the 3-time winner and reigning champion is out. So who will rise to the occasion? Never far off the pace is Braden Meyer.
Should be an easy win for Braden Meyer on this one, and he drops the block.
Meyer won the International Trophy in 2016 as a then 18-year-old.
Braden Meyer just insanely fast, oh my God.
He placed second to O'Toole in 2020.
Feels like I played 4 quarters of footy and some, so I'm a little bit rooted, but yeah, gave me all and that's all I could do.
And again was runner-up to Argent in 2021.
Well, I'm sick of getting second, so this year might be the year, and hopefully I'm ready to go. I'm hungry for it, so I'm ready to rumble.
Brad DeLosa is also looking to keep the dream alive.
Now here is a discipline where Brad DeLosa is absolutely top-notch.
He's a 3-time winner of the International Trophy, claiming the title for the first time in 2014.
He is the new world champion.
He backed it up in 2015 with a world record of 57.59 in the final that still stands today. And he backed it up in 2017.
DeLosa's top is loose and DeLosa gets it in a 1:02.71. Oh my goodness, how close was that?
As a result, Brad DeLosa is heralded as the most successful in the trophy format.
Yeah, had a lot of wins in the past, but that feeling never gets old of winning a title. So yeah, I'll be sort of putting the best foot forward to try and claim another one.
And then there's Lawrence O'Toole.
Spears turns and he's going to chase down O'Toole.
In Australia, he's claimed the title in 2019.
It's Lawrence O'Toole.
Later that year, he placed second at the International Trophy by a single hit. And backed it up on local turf in 2020 with another win.
O'Toole gets the win. What an amazing effort by O'Toole.
Yeah, well, 2022 is a long time coming for me because I've had to wait a long time to try and get back to the World Championships. So ultimately, that'll be my goal, would be to win here and then get over there and rewrite the wrongs of my second place from last time.
So with the top 3 hungry for the title, can they keep it within their grasp? Or will someone rise above and snatch the Australian Trophy title from them? For the first time, the beachside suburb of Glenelg in South Australia plays host to the STIHL Timbersports Australian Trophy. In the gut-wrenching trophy format, athletes need to complete 4 disciplines back-to-back. From the start, they need to cut a whole disc with the stock saw and complete the underhand chop as fast as possible. They return to the starting point where the single buck saw is waiting for them to cut one complete cookie. At the 4th and final discipline, they need to complete the standing block chop to achieve the best overall time. To get started, athletes must first compete in the time trial. The 4 fastest athletes go through to the quarterfinals, while the slowest are eliminated. The remaining athletes battle it out in the last chance rounds in a knockout format for the remaining quarterfinal spots. After each round, the losers are eliminated and the winners will progress to the next round until the best athlete chops and saws their way to the Australian Trophy title. In the first time trial heat, one of the most experienced, Brad DeLosa, will line up against one of the least experienced in David Rumer.
Top 4 was very important. Last year I didn't qualify in the top 4, which put me in the bottom bracket, so I had to cut an extra round.
One more drive should do it, and he does it in a time of 1:22.42.
Yeah, I'm looking for the win, so I'm certainly here to put another title to my name this weekend.
For Rumer, he only has one strategy in mind.
If I come up against one of the top competitors, whether Brad or Lawrence or Braden or someone, I just got to go flat out so and try and beat this bloke, that's all.
3, 2, 1. Heat number 1 in the time trial. Rumour does not like the stock saw. Brad DeLosa, he's a master of this discipline generally. He is so experienced, where Rumour has quite a bit less experience than DeLosa. And you can see right away that stock saw from Rumour gave a huge advantage to DeLosa as he steps on to the underhand chop and starts working the first side of his block. But Rumour doing a good job to get deep into that block quite quickly and moves over to the other side, not too far behind DeLosa. He could challenge DeLosa, and it could be interesting. DeLosa knows he cannot rest at all. There's a lot of hungry competitors here that want to take down the master, but he's through his block and moves over to the single buck. That 2-meter long cross-cut saw is a discipline that DeLosa is very, very good in, and he knows that if he can keep that flow going, he's going to have a huge advantage over Rumour. Rumour now joins him on the single buck, looking good. Yeah, you can see both of these guys are really starting to get tired, and that is a huge amount of stress right there going from that underhand chop to the single buck. It is just absolutely draining on the body in this trophy format. All 4 disciplines on stage in that racing setup. Oh, it is just absolutely gassing the 2 of them. And you can see DeLosa, who is quite fit, is already breathing heavy as he moves over gingerly and slowly to the other side of his standing block chop. Rumour has joined him on the standing block chop and is doing a good job to try and stay in the hunt and get some good points here and a good time. He moves over to join DeLosa on the other side of his block, but DeLosa is going to be through it fairly quickly here. It's hardwood today, and it is a time of 139.80 for DeLosa. David Rumour doing a very good job to keep up with him. There it goes at a 151.91. Good job by both of them.
Yeah, it's always the hardest one, you know, so everything starts to pump pretty hard through that. But look, the wood's quite firm, so hopefully it'll stand up and get through the top 4.
Coming up, with DeLosa setting the pace, who will match him?
Lawrence O'Toole with a great time.
We're in Glenelg, South Australia for the STIHL Timbersports Australian Trophy, and Brad DeLosa has set the pace, claiming a 1-minute 39-second time.
Hardwood today, and it is a time of 139.80 for DeLosa.
In this grueling 4-discipline one-man relay, up-and-comer Josh Bakes goes head-to-head with rookie Jack Argent, looking for a top 4 time and entry to the quarterfinals.
Cutting all 4 events in the Champions Trophy is something we never do normally, so it takes a lot more training, and really looking forward to probably how much it hurts the mostly.
Not many people would say that.
No, have to leave that bit out.
3, 2, 1, go!
Josh Bakes is a real up-and-comer in the trophy format. He trains hard for it, is very fit, and here we go. Both of them looking pretty even here. Whoa! We've got a recut that's got to go on here, a broken cookie at the bottom, and that's going to be a huge problem for Josh Bakes as Jack Argent has already moved over to the underhand chop. Hopefully he can keep mentally tough, because that's going to play with your head as Josh now gets going on the underhand chop. Argent on the other side is moving over to the other side of his block, but look at how quickly Josh Bakes is attacking that block so fast with the axe, and now he moves over to the other side, and it could be that he's catching up with Argent. What a great job by this young man, who obviously fitness plays a big role for him, and that's also helping him in this contest here so far, as he has caught up and actually passed Argent as he moves over to the single buck.
Bakes came home in the hardwood to record a 1:57 for his time trial.
It's probably the toughest round, I reckon, the time trial, so I'm just happy sort of to get it out of the way. I'm not really worried about my time, because I know I'll reel in my next one by a fair bit from that, so just happy to get through.
Chris Owen putting everything he's got into it.
While in the next heat, Owen overpowered Daniel Gurr in their time trial heat.
And moving over to the other side ahead of Daniel Gurr now, Chris Owen has the advantage as he's gone into the backside, but did he go deep enough on his front side to be able to come clean through on the backside? Daniel Gurr looking good here as he gets in some nice big drivers and slabbing that block well, but here goes with Chris Owen. Oh, what a great comeback for Chris Owen. A 152.95, and Daniel Gurr with a great job at a 2:00.01.
The thing going on from here is the way the wood is. This is going to be an absolutely massive advantage. Whoever qualifies top 4 is going to be top 4. Nobody's got the fitness to push through a wood like this and cut against somebody who's just had a spell.
In Heat 4, one of the standouts of the competition, Lawrence O'Toole, lines up against a gutsy West Australian Brent Rees. This year, O'Toole is more motivated than ever.
Yeah, well, you know, I enter every event wanting to win. I train to win. I turn up with the mindset to win, but sometimes, you know, you don't just perform as well as you want to do. I feel like I've trained really well for this competition, and I'm looking forward to getting out there and enjoying myself and hopefully getting another win.
While Rees is looking to get one back on O'Toole from their last bout in Geelong.
I was devastated, you know. I really want to get into that final, you know, to have a shot of winning it would have been amazing.
And it's O'Toole. He takes the win and the second spot into the grand final.
The guy that beat me, Lawrence, he ended up going on to winning it himself. So hopefully this year I can be in that same situation, but go that one better.
3, 2, 1, go!
Lawrence O'Toole is a two-time winner here, only losing out to Mitch Argent last year, but as Mitch Argent is injured, he's not competing. It gives a solid chance to Lawrence O'Toole to perhaps take his third trophy win, but he's a slight bit behind Brent Rees after Stocksaw as they both move over to the underhand chop. This is about the closest we've seen anybody come off Stocksaw today to go over to the underhand chop, and Brent Rees did push Lawrence O'Toole to the very end in 2019, and so he is going to try and really put the pressure on the big man from Victoria again here today. Brent Rees doing a good job to really apply that pressure, as looks like he gets through with a heavy swing, but both of the guys moving over to the single buck pretty much dead on. Now here, huge advantage for O'Toole as he gets that saw moving nice and smooth. He's got so much experience in this particular discipline, and Brent Rees right off the hop had a quick hookup, so that gave him a bit of a problem, but Brent Rees going for those heavy pushes as Lawrence O'Toole trying to keep that saw moving clean and quick as he does, and gets through it nice and moves over to the standing block chop. Brent Rees now stepping off of that single buck and also moves to the standing block chop. Slight advantage goes to O'Toole here, and he is very strong in the standing discipline as he moves over to the other side of his block. Brent Rees trying to do the catch-up. Will he be able to do it? Brent Rees still on the first side, and now finally moving over to the other side of his. But Lawrence O'Toole with a great time of 1:38.79. I believe that's the fastest time of the day so far. And Brent Rees, last couple of drivers on the top of that block to try and get it off. And there it goes, a 2:00.18.
Bit of a struggle. The wood was really firm out there today. It's throwing the boys a real curveball, but it's always good to get on the top of the leaderboard there. Hopefully stay in the top 4, but I definitely know I could have went like probably 5-6 seconds quicker just on being smoother, you know, so here's what it is and move on.
After 4 heats in the time trial, O'Toole holds top spot from DeLosa, while Rumour and Owen round out the top 4. With 2 heats to go, who will hold on to their top 4 spot and get to the quarterfinals?
Braden Meyer should come through with a good time here. He does!
We're in Glenelg, South Australia for the STIHL Timbersports Australian Trophy, and Lawrence O'Toole is currently occupying the top spot on the leaderboard for the time trial.
Lawrence O'Toole with a great time of 1:38.79.
Looking to shake up the top 4 will be Jake Dingle, who lines up against Blake Meyer.
Yeah, without Mitch and Cody here this year with the qualifier, hopefully I can finish a bit higher, because them fellas will probably be looking to finish in the top 4 and get the easy run through, so hopefully you can push my way up in the qualifier and might get an easier run through myself.
3, 2, 1, go!
All right, next heat up, Jake Dingle going up against Blake Meyer. Neither of these guys have made it past the last chance qualifier round, so let's see how they do on the time trials here today. Jake Dingle has been working on his sawing disciplines in between the chopping to try and improve on that a little bit, because he is a very, very good axeman. It was just on those sawing disciplines that he needed to have a little bit of extra time. Blake Meyer still on the first side of his as Jake Dingle moves over to the other side of his. He's looking quite good here as Dingle is looking to improve in 2022 and try and get into the next round. And he does a great job getting through that block. Meyer a little bit slower here as he was quicker on that stock saw, but on the underhand chop seems to be struggling a little bit. And Jake Dingle is already well into his single buck. Meyer makes his way over to the single buck. Let's see if he can play catch up here against Jake Dingle. As, wow, Jake Dingle has really taken his time here, is getting deep into that. He gets hooked up a bit. Oh, and that hurts trying to restart that long saw, but he gets it done, and the cookie is down as he moves over to the standing block chop. His time is actually looking not bad at the moment. Blake Meyer just on the last few strokes to get that cookie off and move over to the standing block chop, but he is really struggling with that last push, and now finally moves over to the standing and starts work on that block. Meanwhile, Jake Dingle is already on the other side of his. His time is looking very good, actually really close to Brad DeLosa's time. If he can get that thing off the top, he may well catch up. He doesn't, but it's a good time of 1:45.60. And Meyer now has moved over to the other side, and he should be through here in a time of 1:57.85.
Yeah, good to get through. I think might be a little bit slower time than I would like, but the wood's firm. It's going to slow everyone down today. But there's a few big fellas left to run there. Yeah, hopefully it's good enough to get up in the placings there for the qualifier.
Next up in the heat of the round, two contenders in Braden Meyer and Glenn Gillam take to the stage.
This year with the time trials, it's pretty good come up against Braden Meyer, so you're going to have a pretty good show, I think.
For Meyer, doing well here in Glenelg is paramount.
I'm here for myself. I've been second the last 2 years, and I want to go back to Europe and win that championship again. And this is the first step of doing that, so start now.
3, 2, 1, go!
Here today, Glenn Gillam is going to put the pressure on Braden Meyer, as two of these guys are chopperoos together, but when they get on the stage in the trophy format, it's every man for himself. And you can see right away both of them getting over there onto the underhand chop, and these are two of the fastest axes in Australia. It is insane. Oh my goodness, and you can see that massive knot right there on Braden Meyer's block. He had to make the quick decision to maybe go over to the other side of the block before he wanted to, but that's the skill of Braden Meyer right there. Both of these guys looking very good here as Braden Meyer slips through that block and now moves over to the single buck. Glenn Gillam now is getting a little bit of a problem. He too could have a untimely placed knot, but he is finally through, sets his axe and moves over to the single buck. Braden Meyer already well halfway through, I would say more, as Glenn Gillam gets that saw finally moving, and Braden Meyer with the distinct advantage here as he gets down to the bottom of that cookie and will move over to the standing block chop. Now, both of these guys we know are big, heavy hitters. They're both great with the axe. Braden Meyer has a huge advantage here, but Glenn Gillam is a fantastic standing block chopper, and he could catch up if he is using that massive axe head that he's so famous for. Some big slabs coming off for Glenn Gillam already as he gets started on the first side, but Braden Meyer has such a lead, and there's no catching up to Braden Meyer when he is this far ahead and has the skill that he has with the axe. Braden Meyer should come through with a good time here. He does! A 1:38.50, a new fastest time in the time trials, and Glenn Gillam drops it in 1:53.04.
Yeah, real happy with that. Stuff going out there, so I think I might have won the whole time trial, so it's good going and have a bit of a rest now to the next round.
So with the time trial complete, Meyer, O'Toole, DeLosa and Dingle occupy the top four in the time trial rankings. They will advance directly to the quarterfinals. The remaining athletes will now battle for the remaining quarterfinal spots in the do or die last chance round. Who will make it through and who will be packing their bags?
Oh, just ahead of Blake Meyer, and he's done it again.
Find out after the break. Glenelg in South Australia plays host to the STIHL Timbersports Australian Trophy. With the time trials now complete, the top four placed athletes have moved directly to the quarterfinals. And now it's do or die for the athletes who placed 5th to 12th in the last chance round. Lining up first will be Josh Bakes and Blake Meyer.
3, 2, 1, go!
We saw Josh Bakes earlier on looking really good Blake Meyer struggled a little bit in his previous time trial heat. But it's looking good right now for both of these guys as Blake Meyer manages to get over to the underhand chop a little bit ahead of Josh Bakes. But we saw Josh Bakes was really quick with that axe. If we can get a camera angle on him, we'll see. Again, he's moving that axe really fast. Although Blake Meyer is moved over to the other side, just about a half axe swing ahead of Bakes. Bakes is looking really good here as he's getting right into those big slabs coming off of that block. There's a nice piece of wood for him as he busts through. Oh, just ahead of Blake Meyer, and he's done it again, coming from behind to move into a slight advantage.
Bakes had the better of Meyer with a flawless run and a faster time than his time trial heat as he gained momentum to earn his spot in the quarterfinals.
So I feel like I can keep going on from now. It's definitely going to hurt me coming up against someone else who has had a break, but no, I think I'm fit enough to push through and hopefully just get over one of them other boys.
In the second last chance heat, the big hitting Rumour overpowered Jack Argent.
Really throwing down some big chunks. Rumour doing well to catch up to Jack Argent. It looks like he might even overtake him here as he's got some nice hits going into that block, slabbing out nicely. Oh boy, it's going to be close on the underhand chop, but it's Rumour that gets through first ahead of Jack Argent.
Yeah, feel good. I'll give the underhand a bit of a shake. I had a real good single buck. I just got to coast a bit in the block, so no, I was wrapped with that.
Relegated into the last chance round, Glenn Gillam was looking to keep his dreams alive against Brent Rees.
Heading towards the discipline that he favors above all others. This is his strongest discipline, the standing block chop. So Brent Rees has his work cut out for him if he wants to try and beat Glenn Gillam here in this last chance qualifier. Gillam moves over to the other side of that block. Brent Rees still working on the first side now. Transitions himself. Gillam looking very good though. And looks like he may do it in 1-2 more blows. There it goes. That last drive was the killer.
Just going to give it my best shot yet again and see how we go. I'm just buggered.
And in the final heat, Chris Owen battled Dan Gurr for the second time today.
Great flow by Chris Owen. You can see he's getting a bit worn out towards the end of that cookie. And now Chris moves over to the standing block chop. Daniel Gurr still working to get through that cookie, and he is getting burned out. That is such a tough job to cut and restart that saw, especially when it gets hooked up like that. As Chris Owen, one of the heaviest hitters in the industry, absolutely bashing away at that block in standing block chop. No doubt about it. He's going to win this one and move on to the quarterfinals and a time of 1:39.53.
Happy with that cut. Hopefully Brad makes a mistake or whoever I'm facing in the next round. Hopefully I can try and back it up and do that again.
So with gutsy performances, Bakes, Rumour, Gillam and Owen cement their spots in the quarterfinals, where they will take on top 4 time trial athletes Meyer, O'Toole, DeLosa and Dingle. Next time, the gloves come off in a quarterfinal round that sets the top 8 apart.
He is so solid in this discipline, it's unbelievable.
With everyone hungry for the win.
Oh boy, he's very quick.
Who will take the Australian Trophy title? And who will get their chance to take on the best of the best at the World Trophy in Austria?
Oh, it's going to be a tight one here.
To find out, join us next time for some more STIHL Timbersports action.